guys, I'm going to show you your project today. So you'll find in Google Classroom an assignment that says Heartapalooza, and we went over this on Friday. There are 2 YouTube videos that you can watch that'll be really helpful. And then this PDF is actually also really helpful. It's a good guide. It'll show you how to draw some figures Keith Haring style. So we've been working on figure drawing. We want to see at least 1, if not 2 or 3 figures in your work today. They're pretty simple outlines, but notice how they're all posed into a gesture. So if you scroll down a little bit, it gives you some specific instructions on 3 different characters you could draw, but you can make up your own now that you know how to do some figure drawing. And then also in here, there's a Google search just with some Keith Haring style Valentine's themed works. So you can borrow something from there. And since this is not a graded assignment, it's fine with me if you're pretty much copying from there. And then there is also a little slide file on what to do. So your sub may or may not run this timer for you, which is totally fine. A few examples there. Here's the important part. Draw in pencil first, then paint in any colors you're using, and last thing, you're going to outline in black with a small brush. That is really important. And then the next slide tells you how to do a cleanup. And I think for this, we were having you reset for the next class, but you may not do that. So take a photo of your work, turn it in Google Classroom. You're going to put your painting on the red counter, clean your brushes and put back in the basket. Throw away your dirty palette paper, clean your tables and trays, use the sponge, and dump out your water and rinse your paint bowl. So now I'll show you how I would go through the steps to do this. It's pretty straightforward. So I have my blank paper, and I'm going to use that figure drawing technique that we were learning about drawing the head, and I want him to look like he's carrying something heavy. So I'm drawing his spine. Let me press a little harder so you guys can see. So I would do this lightly. Actually, I'm going to put a bend in his knee, like he's carrying something. And holding this. So I want him carrying a giant heart. I'm going to have it go behind him and through like that. Okay, so I might want to clean that up with a little bit of an eraser. If you guys write lightly, you won't have to clean up much, but since I'm pressing harder so you guys can see it, there's a little bit of cleanup. So I would get that guy in there, and then you're going to want to make him look more like a figure. So I'm going to round him out a little bit, sort of Keith Haring style. His back leg going there, and his foot. All right, clean it up. I'm not going to spend time doing that now, but then you will begin to paint. Oh, he's got his other arm coming around, which is going to be tricky. Okay, so for paint, your palette's going to have 3 areas of white, red, and black. And this is a community palette, meaning it is going on your table and you're going to share it. You need the usual half a cup of water. I've got a paper towel. And then the brushes I'm using are going to be, I'm going to paint with this thick one, and I've got 2 small ones I'm going to try to use for that outlining. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so let's get the paint nearby. And I think I want to make this kind of a light pink heart. So I'm going to remember bring dark to light. So I'm going to bring some red just to one of these piles. And if you guys mix a color, you can all share it. Just mix up as much as you need. If you need to get more paint, let your sub know. And what I'm going to do, as I've shown you guys, is block in as much as I can. And then I'll tighten up and paint the careful part. And then one thing with the paint that we use, if you dip your brush, and I am just touching the water, don't get it super wet. That will help you keep your paint moving around. So I'm trying something tricky here. I am actually on purpose going just outside my lines because I want to cover that pencil line as much as I can. So I would continue in this way until I get the whole thing done. For now, I'm just going to get a little bit finished so I can show you how to do the black outline. Get that little tricky part there. And I'll just do this side real quick, and then we'll do some outlining. So as you work, you'll notice your paper does dry pretty quickly, which will make it easier when you go to outline. And one thing I want to do is anywhere where I'm going to have to outline, I'm trying to make sure I don't have big globs of paint. Any big glob of paint is going to take some time to dry, and you want things drying pretty quickly so that you can get your outline nice and clean. All right, I'm actually able to finish this guy up. So I like this brush for this because it's got a pretty good point on it and you can get right in those small spaces. Okay, so now for the black outlining. Oh, I could paint him too. I could just paint him in. If I wanted to take a little more time on this demo, I might paint him in dark red, or he could just be fully painted in black. All right, so I'm going to try this brush first, and you might want to try on a scrap to see if you can get a line going, like practice a few times. So for example, I'll just grab a quick sticky note, because that's what I have handy. You want to try to get a nice clean line. So I'm holding my brush kind of straight up and down. And then I also have this style of brush, which is kind of flat. And you can, I would hold this one actually to make a line. So not like this, but like this. But you could try either. So maybe practice on a scrap for a minute or two, and that'll give your painting a chance to dry. And then I just got some black, and so I'm going to try to outline. So this goes behind his head. And if I want it thicker, I can do a little double line. And since I'm working across my page, I'm going to turn it upside down and keep going around. So that's the main idea. I will finish this up off camera and put a picture in Google Classroom so that you have it as a reference. Okay, so that's your plan for today. Do a good job. For cleanup, you want to clean everything up as we usually do. Throw out your palette paper, wash your brushes, empty and wash your water cup, and then I'm just going to have you lay these on the red counter. And that is it for today. I miss you guys. Bye.